Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about the Polaris because we got some updated specifications for this ship. Now, these numbers that we're about to talk about in this video are they come from leaks. I believe they're not yet officially announced by CIG, and of course these things can potentially change, but a lot of the weaponry, the armament, and that type of thing are things that players can see in the game right now, from the Polaris flying around and from seeing it on the showroom floor. So, I think these numbers are fairly credible. Um, Now, this is essentially the new uh, in-game asset of the Polaris. We could kind of see here that there's a lot more detail about the ship hangar. Uh, we can kind of, you know, guess of how the hangar is gonna open just based on how many different panels are there. That it won't be, split right down the middle. It doesn't look like that's gonna be the case. Um, so the first major update is the length. Okay, so it's grown a bit from 166 meters to 181. And that makes sense because the Polaris was concepted before the standard SCU box size was really made official in about 2017, I believe. And so now that those metrics are kind of concrete, it really has to kind of conform to that. And so the cargo capacity of the Polaris has also increased. I believe before it was 200 something. Now it is 432. And that is a significant bump up in cargo capacity. And so today I kind of also wanted to talk about the ship's potential as a solo capital ship. Now, my plans for the game are to be primarily a solo player, and this is one of the ships in my fleet that won't really be going anywhere. Um, I plan on keeping the ship, for the long term. And there are a number of reasons why. And if you compare it to a lot of the other ships kind of in this size range, it kind of checks all of the boxes. Okay, the ship has a brig for bounty hunter style gameplay. It has a med bay, and now with the new medical changes, all med beds will be set to respawn points. So because the Polaris has multiple med beds in there, if you do play with your friends, you can each respawn at the same time in different med beds. Um, of course, it has all this cargo, and it has a hangar that's designed for a medium fighter. So, I could use this ship to, move around my other fighters, my medium fighter like the Hornet Mark II, and go to farther systems like Pyro and whatnot. And this ship's components was also increased. It now has capital components, capital size shield. So it is going to be very tanky. But I mean, the real claim to fame right now is how much DPS this ship is projected to put out. Okay, so let's go over to DPS calculator that recently updated these specs for the Polaris and take a look at what the DPS of the Polaris is really looking like now. All right, so we got the Polaris pulled up here, and this ship is an absolute monster. I'm telling you guys right now, uh, the projected potential of this ship in combat is crazy. So, okay, we got a lot of turrets. Look how much stuff we got. And we got a lot of missiles. Okay. I mean, just look how much stuff we're dealing with here. Okay. Then, of course, we got the components. We could talk about that first. Okay. Capital size shield, capital size power plant, capital size cooler, large size quantum drive, Okay, and we have some of the other information here with speed. Of course, the speed makes sense. That seems pretty good. And then of course here we have the updated dimensions: 87 wide, 181 long, and 40 meters high. Okay, then we also have a lot of interesting DPS numbers on this side, whereas you can see in terms of missile damage, now this number is combined with the torpedoes. So this is the torpedoes and the missiles DPS combined is getting us up to 11 million. Okay, 11 million DPS with those torpedoes and missiles. And you can really see here how that number gets so high, and these are just the turrets and what you can equip on them. Okay, so in terms of turrets, what do we have here? Okay, so there is a remote turret at the back that is a missile turret. Okay, so this missile turret here has a lot of size 2 missiles equipped on it. So it's a size 4 remote turret with 12 size 2 missiles equipped in it. Okay, so this is the turret at the back. So if you guys have gone to the convention hall and looked at the back of the Polaris, it has a missile turret at the back, remote one, and it has 12 size 2s equipped in it. So that's just for the back. So if anyone tries to pull up behind you, you can take care of them with a lot of missiles. Okay, then we have a remote turret with 4 size 3s. Okay, a man turret with 4 size 3s, another man turret with 4 size 3s, another man turret with 2 size 4s, another man turret with 2 size 4s, and another man turret with 2 size 5. So this one with 2 size 5, I believe this is the turret underneath the nose. So 2 size 5 laser cannons underneath the nose, and we have 2 size 4s, 2 man turrets with 2 size 4s each on the top here, and I believe we have on the right and left side 2 turrets with 4 size 3s, and then at the back at the bottom I believe we have 1 turret with 4 size 3s. So there's a lot of turrets on this thing, a lot of DPS coming off from those, and we're looking at about 11,000 DPS, okay, from those turrets. And of course, you can outfit those turrets with different weapons. Cannons are very effective, laser repeaters are very effective. You could put ballistics on there if you want to. You can re-outfit this thing to get this number to a pretty crazy state. So let's say, let's do something stupid here and just put 2 size 5s on the bottom turret. Your DPS could do, it is very configurable, it's basically what I'm saying. And so then we have a lot of missiles. Okay, so right at the front of the Polaris there are the torpedo tubes, and above the torpedo tubes are also in the hull there are missile racks. Okay, so you have here, you have 8 size 3s on one side, 8 size 3s on another side, and then you have all of your torpedoes, all of your size 9 torpedoes. There's so many torpedoes on this thing, it's insane. Okay, look at that. I will leave a link to DPS calculator in the video description if you guys want to check this out for yourself. But we've got a lot of torpedoes here and a lot of missiles. So we got 16 size 3 missiles up at the front, and 12 size 2 missiles on the turret in the back. So we got a lot of missiles on this thing, and we have a lot of guns on this thing. We got a lot of shields, okay, and we got a lot of cargo. So this basically, I mean, this ship is definitely going to be a tank in the game. Uh, you know, it's going to be something that a lot of people are going to be very interested in picking up. So, just really quickly, we also got some more specifications from the Idris. So, I just want to quickly compare that to the Idris. Now, they're not really comparable ships. Um, the Idris is more of a medium carrier, while the Polaris is a light carrier. The Bengal and the Kraken are heavy carriers, while the Idris is a medium carrier and the Polaris I would call a light carrier. Now, um, the Idris is significantly, you know, larger, heavier, has a lot more, uh, cargo and all this stuff. It is basically just a step up in every other way. But strictly speaking, in law, the Polaris was designed to replace the Idris in certain situations. So, um, I do think it's interesting to kind of compare the two, especially from the solo player's perspective. Um, so let's take a look at that real quick. So here we have the Idris M. Okay, you're looking at 7,200 DPS. That's from the railgun, but look how much alpha damage you have right there. Big numbers. The railgun is a very deadly thing. You don't want to be in front of that. And then we have 18,000 DPS from the turrets, but we only have 110,000 for missiles. So if you compare it to something, so if you're comparing the Polaris to the Idris, that Polaris has a ton of missile and of course the torpedo damage. That's really taking this number up to just like there's no comparing this number to any other ship in the game. Uh, you can't compare it to the Idris. Now the Javelin uh has larger torpedoes, and I don't know what the Javelin specifications are going to be when it comes out, or when it gets closer to release. I know it will come out after Squadron 42, so that is going to be an absolutely insane ship. But the Javelin is the largest ship that players can get in the game, so I do think that, that's going to be kind of like a special case. But comparing it to the Idris, you're getting a lot of bang for your buck. Because again, right now, the Polaris is only about $50 more than an Odyssey, and it is significantly cheaper than an 890 jump. Polaris $750, 890 jump is like 900 and something dollars. So, uh, in my opinion, that's very interesting to have all that DPS on a ship like this. Now again, you look at the Idris has two capital shields, two capital power plants, two capital coolers, a capital quantum drive. This is, you know, real business. This ship is not messing around. We were able to finally take a look at the Idris interior in game, and I highly urge you guys to go do that. Go to, up on the station and look at the interior of that ship. It's very cool. It's a very large ship. Um, I really don't think that ship is too soloable, but I do see a little bit more potential with the Polaris as a soloable ship. Of course, people right now solo 890 jumps, they solo Carracks, and even with engineering coming online, as long as you maintain your components when you're on the ground and you don't get into combat, should be fine. I think there are going to be a lot of people that realistically solo the Polaris, and I think that it is a good ship if you are a solo player to kind of have as your capital ship. It has all of the features that you're going to need to look for in a ship like that, but it's not too big. It's not like the Idris, it's not like the Javelin, it's not like the Kraken. Um, uh, People have said in the comments down below that they are excited about soloing the Kraken, and I do think that will be possible. But then again, at the end of the day, this is very impressive DPS for the price of the ship, because remember, you have to remember, in terms of real world money, the Kraken is about double the price of a Polaris in cost. So I think if you're looking at DPS, now of course, the Kraken has so much more cargo capacity, but if you're looking at, just the DPS this ship can put out, if you hire NPCs or you pick up players from global, you can be really effective in a ship like this against other capital ships. And I'm very excited to see what this ship does in game. This is just a quick little video about the specs, quick little video about, my excitement about this ship. I know that everyone has now had an opportunity to take a look at it in game. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you going to solo your Polaris when it comes out? I love to hear from you guys. I love to talk about this stuff. We are getting a lot more updates very soon. CIG has said that there is a new Drake concept ship that will be talked about on aUEC, as well as we'll get more information about the Polaris interior. We'll be able to see the gray box of how that's come along, so I'm very excited about that. So yeah, I want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think. But that's gonna be it for me here in today's video. Like I always say at the end of these videos, like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Salut.